Honda's cheapest motorcycle has received improvements in addition to the new alloy wheels. And this is the only video you need to watch to know everything that has changed and also the maintenance cost of the new 2027 Honda Pop 110. I'm Amandinha, and this is Brazil's most charming motorcycle channel featuring top two-wheel launches. Hit like and subscribe so you never miss a video. See you next time. The name Pop comes from popular, and it was created in 2007 by Honda exclusively for our market. With the idea of being a motorcycle, of course, popular and accessible, not just in terms of price, but also when it comes to riding, low maintenance, and focused on the public. C and D, in 2009, it got some changes. In 2015, it received electronic fuel injection, had some design updates, and got a new 110i engine. And in 2019, it got the combi brake system. In 2024, it got a new transmission. So what has changed now in this sixth generation? First, the design. Honda's idea was to bring more pride to Pop owners. And with that, they changed the fairings to give it a sportier look. So, for example, this air vent here wasn't on the previous fairing, and now you have it. The fairings got bulkier, but that doesn't mean it became clunky. No, you can really see the design is very well done by the Honda team. So overall, the design changes were mostly here in the lines on the side. The rest stayed the same, especially this seat here, which is very characteristic of the Pop. Another change we had was here in the brakes, or rather in the brake pedal. Where's the brake here on the Pop? It moved to the hand. So we have brake written here in big letters on the lever to remind you that this isn't the clutch, it's the brake, just like on scooters. And there's also a sticker here on the fairing saying that on the right side is the front brake and on the left side is the rear brake. Another change here in the brakes was the drum diameter, which is now 130 both in the front and in the rear. Since the wheel changed, the drum diameter also changed, right? They're not disc brakes, okay? Mechanical drum brakes on both wheels to provide greater braking power. There was no change in the front suspension, okay? However, it was recalibrated. And in the rear, that's where we had changes. The travel increased to 86 millimeters now, right? There are two springs and it still doesn't have preload adjustment. And then the dimensions have changed, okay? So we have the same chassis, but it was resized, let's say. First, it gained about 1 kilo. The seat height to the ground has changed slightly, guys, only after the decimal point. Now we have 74.7 centimeters, and it remains low, very accessible for most riders. So you don't need to spread your legs too much because it's really narrow here. I'm 177 centimeters tall, and for me, the Pop still has room to spare. Another notable change was the clearance. Ground clearance, right? So we have an increase in the clearance here, and that helps to get over obstacles. The bike also gained a little bit in terms of width because of the tire, right? So it got a bit wider and it also got a little longer overall, right? The bike's width also increased slightly. And now for the coolest change, right? Or the most anticipated one regarding the wheels. So now we have wheels. They went from spoked wheels and now we have alloy wheels in this very beautiful black color. But the main thing is that now it comes with tubeless tires, which means no inner tube. The rim, it got a little bit wider compared to the spoked one, okay? But we only had changes here in the width of the front tire. It went from 60/100 to 70/90. Another new feature for the 2027 version is this part right here. Look, it's already set up for you to add a USB-C outlet as an accessory. And according to Honda, the suggested price for the outlet is 150 reais. It's important to note that you lose the warranty if you install a different type of outlet. So if you want to install an outlet and keep the warranty, it's best to buy the official outlet at the dealership. What hasn't changed? Well, first we have the lighting assembly here, right? So the headlight, turn signals, and tail lights still use conventional bulbs. The headlight still turns on automatically when you start it, and the dashboard remains unchanged. So we have that very simple Honda dashboard without a gear indicator, right? It only shows the most basic information, and the engine also remains the same. Single cylinder, air-cooled 109.5 cc and 8.43 horsepower. Maximum power and maximum torque of 0.95 kgfm, and it keeps the chain final drive. And it has 4 gears, right? Here on the pedal, you shift up by pressing down and you shift back by tapping here with your heel, right? And with that rotary shifting system, when you get to 4th gear, if you want to start again, you press one more time and it goes back to 1st, making the rider's life much easier. Well, those were the changes, and now let's get to the best part. Let's test it here at Honda's CTH. First, let's ride the previous version, and then we'll compare it with the changes in this new generation.
Music. Hey guys, riding the old one here, it's really just for reference. Music. Man, what I felt was that the front end is much more stable here compared to the other one, right? I think the issue with the brake anyway, at the lever, I think it's kind of going to be a problem in the sense that... Okay. Guys, I just got off the old one, but for example, what does the old one have? When switching to the new Pop, there might be a little problem in that sense. If you're coming from another bike or a different shift pattern or from another Pop, right? From the Pop 100 itself, for example, or from the 110 2005, 2006, right? It might mess with your head a bit, but we can get used to it. Sometimes we're still confused by the gears, right? But we get used to it. Well, regarding its handling, it feels firmer to me here. Front. But then we would have to see it on the road. I'm really looking forward to taking the Pop and riding it on the highway. So if you want to see that video, it's top speed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because as soon as that video comes out, you'll be the first to know. And here we are. To get around obstacles, the Pop was really much more manageable. In fact, it's the only Honda that has the detail on the seat written here. Honda, very visible. And just to get that part of, look, I'm the owner of a Honda, right? And for this audience, it really makes a difference. And now even more, moving away from the utilitarian side of the vehicle, of the motorcycle, to something more about pride, design, and belonging, but without making the styling too expensive. After all, what happens? What do you... Make the product much more expensive when it comes to after sales, right? Oh, for example, you add an LED. I'm going to add an LED. But how much does an LED cost? If it falls and breaks, just replace the bulb. How much is an LED? So this brings me up here in front of the audience, and if it lights up, this is very problematic when it comes to maintenance.
But I think it's good that we're here living
not only in the northeast of the country, but also in capitals like Sao Paulo, right? Tagged around the delivery workers' servers.
The changes were positive. The Pop is more stable, more under control. The handling is much better dialed in. I think it's about the wheel, right? Now with the light alloy tubeless tire, I think that's a big positive point. There's the brake issue, which is hand operated now. It's a controversial item. I'm sure you'll mention it in the comments. At least a lot of people will. I think it's just a matter of getting used to it. And there's also the issue of the socket, which comes as an accessory. But overall, the Pop is a success. Now in 2027, the Pop will turn 20 years old, and more than 2.3 million units have already been sold. So there's no denying that this model from Honda is a success. Imagine if it were cheaper. And speaking of price, it's available in these 3 colors, with a suggested retail price of 10,588 reais. And the previous version cost 10,380 reais. So as you can see, it was actually a small change compared to the improvements, especially when it comes to the wheels. And remember, this is the website price. It's the website price without shipping insurance, based in São Paulo, okay? And what about maintenance? How much does it cost to get maintenance done at the dealership? As you can see on the screen, it comes with a 3-year warranty, which is equivalent to 36,000 kilometers. And the total cost is about 0.048 cents for each kilometer driven. That's, of course, not counting the tires. That's the actual cost at the dealership. Guys, I thought it was a good price. All in, it's about 1,700 Rs for you to do the required maintenance, right? To keep your warranty during the warranty period. And remember, you can buy not only your Pop or any other Honda motorcycle at Japalto stores. Why, guys? Because there are 32 stores spread throughout São Paulo, Greater São Paulo. There's Alphaville, the countryside, Campinas. There are several stores always offering the best service. Some even have test rides so you can get to know the bikes better. They accept your used motorcycle of any brand as part of the payment. Easy financing, consortium-style purchase plans, and more are available. Don't finalize your Honda deal yet. Not before talking to Japalto, don't forget to mention that you saw it here on the Motoplay channel with Amanda Pagliari, so you get exclusive benefits, okay? Only my followers can get more info from the phone number on screen or the link in the description. So that's it. If you like the video, leave a like. Go ahead and share it with your friends in WhatsApp groups and on Facebook, because I'm sure they'll love to get this video with all the changes to the Pop. It's important to mention, guys, that I've linked the full review video of the previous 5th generation version up here. I'll post a full Motoplay style review of this generation here, so subscribe to stay updated. I also left a cool video below for you. Subscribing is free and keeps you informed about the world of 2 wheels. And if you want to help me even more, just become a member to get exclusive benefits. See you next time. Big kiss.